Hello and welcome back to FT Business School. Peter Todd is the first non-French Dean of HEC Paris, one of Europe's leading business schools. Prior to his appointment, he had been Dean of the Des Hôtels School in Montreal for 9 years, where he took what was considered a bold decision to make the school's MBA programme self-funded. Helping to make a more independent business school was part of the appeal of moving to Paris, he says. Professor Todd, why is it important for business schools to have a degree of independence?
Well, I think there's two things. One, I think there's the sense that a business school, frankly, should be self-reliant. It should be something that isn't subsidized by the state. The state has lots of other great uses for their resources, and so I think we have an obligation on one hand to develop that kind of independence and to build that out. And at the other hand, in the context of being close to the market, being close to our corporate consumers and customers, doing things that are responsive to business needs à la minute, if I can say in French, is for, I think, important for us in terms of trying to develop great quality into our programs. And you have a little more agility when you have that kind of independence.
And you at Des Hôtels were involved in some significant fundraising campaigns. This is a big issue for a lot of business schools, raising funds. They're raising quite considerable amounts of money. I suppose people look at those and wonder, why do schools need this much money?
Sure. Well, I think part of that is that idea of self-reliance. If you're going to be self-reliant, it's going to come part from tuition and part from resources you might generate in executive education. But obviously the third pillar for most schools is their fundraising activity, and that's money that comes to invest in the excellence of your programs, to be innovative, to support students, to preserve access to the schools, because as you're charging higher tuitions, you have to be very careful to make sure that you're still putting the resources aside to preserve access for those who can't afford to come to the school.
Yeah. We've got a lot of talk in the UK at the moment about independence and the UK's place in Europe. What's your view on the EU, and would the UK in a Brexit scenario be such a big crisis for Europe?
The world's becoming a more and more global place, and the world's becoming a more and more integrated place. And personally, I mean, it's not for me to enter into either European politics in some way or UK politics, but in terms of economic development, in terms of prosperity, in terms of social integration, it's not the moment, I think, for the world to take steps backward in this regard. And I think, you know, we have to keep moving forward with global integration. I was just yesterday at Cambridge with some deans from other business schools in Europe, some of the leading schools in Europe around the table. There were 8 of us together. When we looked around, 5 of us are leading schools that are not in the countries we were born in. So that's 5 of 8 who are international in their leadership in different countries in Europe. We need more of that, not less.
Professor Todd, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Keep up to date with business school news and analysis. Go to ft.com/business education.